Hey everyone, welcome back to Switch Top. Today, we're diving into the best open world games you can play on Nintendo Switch. These are massive adventures that give you the freedom to explore at your own pace and create your own stories. Let's jump right in.
Red Dead Redemption puts you in the boots of John Marston, a former outlaw forced by the government to hunt down his old gang members in exchange for his family's safety. Set in 1911, during the dying days of the Wild West, you'll traverse the American frontier and into Mexico, experiencing a world caught between the lawless past and civilized future. The gameplay blends third-person shooting with horseback travel across vast deserts, plains, and small frontier towns. You can take on story missions that advance John's hunt, or get sidetracked with poker games, bounty hunting, herb gathering, and helping strangers in need. The Deadeye targeting system lets you slow time and precisely mark multiple enemies before unleashing a barrage of bullets. What struck me most was how alive this world feels, even on Switch. Random encounters like ambushes, wild animal attacks, and people needing help make every ride through the wilderness feel unpredictable and engaging.
Hello there.
Kingdom Come Deliverance drops you into 1403 Bohemia as Henry, a blacksmith's son whose village is destroyed by invading forces, killing his family in the process. You'll join the service of Lord Radzig and gradually evolve from a nobody into a skilled warrior seeking revenge. This is historical realism taken to the extreme. There's no magic, no fantasy elements, just brutal medieval combat and survival. The fighting system demands patience as you learn to read enemy attacks, time your blocks, and strike from different directions using a directional combat system. You need to eat, sleep, maintain your equipment, and even bathe regularly, or NPCs will literally avoid you. I found the learning curve steep but rewarding. You start barely able to hold a sword, but through practice and training, you genuinely feel Henry's growth. The world is dense with period-accurate castles, monasteries, and villages that feel historically grounded, making this one of the most immersive RPG experiences on Switch. Despite some technical limitations, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen begins with a dragon attacking your fishing village and literally ripping your heart from your chest, marking you as the Arisen, a chosen warrior destined to face the dragon. You'll create not just your main character, but also your main pawn, an AI companion who fights alongside you and can be shared with other players online. The combat system is where this game shines. You can climb onto large monsters, Shadow of the Colossus style, targeting weak points while hanging on for dear life. The vocation system lets you switch between 9 different classes, from magic-slinging sorcerers casting massive spells, to agile striders firing arrows while doing acrobatic flips. I love how your party composition completely changes your approach to battles, and the pawn system creates interesting strategic depth. The world of Grancis feels dangerous, especially at night, when stronger monsters emerge and your lantern becomes your lifeline. The Dark Arisen expansion adds an entire endgame area that's brutally challenging and rewarding for players who master the systems.
They grow frenzied.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition takes place on the frozen bodies of 2 massive titans, the Bionis and Mechanis, locked in eternal combat. You play as Shulk, a young researcher who gains the Monado, a legendary sword that can cut through mechons, robotic invaders from the Mechanis who attack human settlements. The story explores themes of revenge, destiny, and the cycle of conflict between organic and mechanical life. The combat happens in real time, but uses an auto-attack system with cooldown-based abilities called arts that you activate manually, positioning yourself for optimal damage or support. The Monado's vision ability lets you see fatal future attacks, giving you a chance to warn allies and change fate. This mechanic ties brilliantly into the story's themes. What blew me away was the sheer scale of the environments. You're literally exploring the bodies of dead gods, from grassy plains on Titan kneecaps to mechanical facilities inside the Mechanis.
The Definitive Edition adds Future Connected, an epilogue story, and completely overhauls the visuals. Skyrim throws you into the role of the Dragonborn, the only person capable of permanently killing dragons by absorbing their souls and using their ancient language in powerful shouts. The game opens with your near execution before a dragon attack gives you a chance to escape, setting you loose in the frozen province of Skyrim during a civil war. You can follow the main quest to stop Alduin the World Eater, join either side of the civil war, become a master thief, lead the Companions Warrior Guild, study magic at the College of Winterhold, or just ignore everything and explore the wilderness. The combat lets you dual-wield any combination of weapons and spells, creating your own playstyle, whether that's a sneaky archer, a battle mage, or a traditional sword-and-board warrior. I've spent hundreds of hours across different playthroughs and still find new locations and quest lines. The environmental storytelling is incredible, with every dungeon and ruin hiding its own small story. On Switch, having this massive adventure portable is a game changer, and the motion controls for aiming bows actually work really well in handheld mode.
They say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors comes here.
Pokémon Legends Arceus sends you back to ancient Sinnoh, now called Hisui, during a time when Pokémon were feared and the idea of befriending them was revolutionary. You're part of the Galaxy Team's Survey Corps, tasked with creating the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokémon in their natural habitats. The gameplay completely reimagines the Pokémon formula. You can sneak through tall grass and throw Pokéballs directly at wild Pokémon without entering battle. Or you can send out your own Pokémon to weaken targets first. The battle system uses an action speed mechanic, where faster Pokémon can attack multiple times before slower ones get a turn. And you can choose between strong style and agile style for each move, trading power for speed or vice versa. I love how this feels like being an actual researcher. You need to observe Pokémon using specific moves, catch them at different times, and see them perform behaviors to complete their Pokédex entries. The semi-open world is divided into large zones with diverse biomes, and the frenzied, noble Pokémon boss battles require action game dodging skills that feel completely fresh for the series. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom picks up after Breath of the Wild, with Link and Zelda investigating a mummified corpse beneath Hyrule Castle, accidentally unleashing Ganondorf and causing massive upheaval across the land. Zelda vanishes, and Link loses his arm, gaining a new prosthetic with reality-bending abilities. The new powers completely transform how you interact with the world. Ultra Hand lets you stick objects together to build vehicles, bridges, and contraptions, limited only by your imagination. Fuse combines weapons with materials to create powerful hybrid tools. Ascend lets you phase through ceilings, and Recall reverses an object's movement through time. The world now has 3 layers: the surface, Hyrule, floating sky islands above, and a massive, pitch-black depths below ground. I've spent hours just experimenting with the building system, creating flying machines, boats, and elaborate Rube Goldberg devices to solve shrine puzzles. The integration of these mechanics into combat and exploration creates emergent gameplay moments that feel genuinely magical and personal to each player's creativity. Dragon Quest XI's tells the story of a young man who discovers he's the Luminary, a legendary hero reborn to save the world from darkness. After being branded a traitor by the King of Heliodor, you go on the run while gathering a party of misfits and uncovering the truth about an ancient evil. The traditional turn-based combat is polished to perfection. With the pep system, when characters get fired up during battle, they can combine pep powers for devastating team attacks. You can switch party members mid-battle and everyone gains experience, even on the bench, encouraging you to experiment with different team compositions. The Switch version adds full voice acting, an orchestral soundtrack, and a 16-bit mode that lets you play the entire game in a retro Dragon Quest style. What I appreciate is how this game respects your time. There's fast travel, visible enemies you can avoid, and a well-designed difficulty curve that challenges without frustrating. The story takes some genuinely surprising turns around the midpoint that completely recontextualize everything you've done, making this one of the most satisfying JRPG narratives I've experienced.
Go on! You can do it!
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 presents a world where two nations, Kevez and Agnes, are locked in endless war. With soldiers grown in pods and given only 10 years to live before their life energy is returned to their nation's giant mech queen. You control 6 soldiers, 3 from each side, who become interlinked and discover their world's horrifying truth. The combat evolves the series formula, with the new class system letting any character learn abilities from different roles, and Ouroboros forms that merge pairs of characters into powerful hybrid beings for limited time. Chain attacks return, but now involve building percentage meters to extend them, creating strategic depth in boss fights. What hit me hardest was the story's exploration of mortality. These characters know exactly how long they have to live, and their journey to break free from this system feels genuinely emotional. The world is massive, connecting diverse regions, from mechanical fortresses to lush forests and toxic wastelands, all while featuring some of the most complex and satisfying combat mechanics in any RPG. Especially once you unlock hero characters who add even more class options and strategic depth. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild opens with Link waking from a 100-year sleep to find Hyrule in ruins and Zelda barely holding Calamity Ganon at bay inside Hyrule Castle. With his memories lost, Link must explore the devastated kingdom, free the 4 divine beasts from Ganon's corruption, and ultimately face the Calamity. The revolutionary design gives you complete freedom after the tutorial area. You can literally walk straight to the final boss if skilled enough. The physics and chemistry systems let you approach challenges creatively. Set grass on fire to create updrafts for your paraglider, use metal objects to conduct electricity, freeze water to create platforms, or roll boulders down hills onto enemy camps. The climbing system lets you scale virtually any surface if you have enough stamina, making the entire world your playground without artificial barriers. I've played through this game 4 times, and each playthrough feels different because the open-ended design supports so many approaches. The weapon durability system forces adaptation and experimentation, the cooking mechanics encourage exploration to find ingredients, and the shrines scattered across the world offer bite-sized puzzle challenges perfect for portable play on Switch. And that's our top 10 open-world games on Nintendo Switch. From realistic historical adventures to massive fantasy RPGs, the Switch has an incredible variety of worlds to explore. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.